right, man. Let's talk, man. So the Lions cut a few people. I put it on the screen as I'm doing this video Tuesday morning, and so they cut the three notables I know was Jackson Meeks, Dan Skipper, and Hendon Hooker. I expand on Hendon Hooker a lot more, but Jackson Meeks, I thought he was gonna make the roster. He didn't. Waived him. If he don't get picked up, maybe they bring him back to the practice squad. Had a great season. He was a Darian Smith's nephew, I believe. Had a great preseason, and if he go on to be great somewhere else, then because it's crazy. They ain't gonna keep three quarterbacks. It don't look like. So so I believe when it's all said and done, St. Brown, J-Mo, Khalif, Tesla, and Tim Patrick will be the five. So they're gonna keep five receivers as long as I ain't missing nobody. Says St. Brown, J-Mo, Khalif, Tim, Tesla. So those are the five they're gonna get rid of. They cut Tom Kennedy again. I don't know how many times he tired of getting cut. Nigga chasing the dream, that ain't gonna happen. But yeah, so I thought he was gonna make the roster as good as he was, but guess what? He got waived, and maybe somebody else will pick him up. Maybe they won't. But Khalif Raymond has been hanging around, and his ability to return, punts. I mean, that's what keep him around. And he's a solid receiver, explosive player, experienced guy, good locker room guy. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he's hanging around. Dan Skipper, that was a shocker. Even though he ain't a tackle by trade, he's more of an interior. He was their backup left tackle. They helped him out when he had to get in there, and he played pretty well. So he was a team favorite, a coaching favorite, and they got rid of him. That was a shocker to me. And now they pretty much going to roll with Manu Giovanni as a backup left tackle. Now, a lot of people don't believe he showed enough improvement in preseason to be able to garner that role, but maybe they could be bringing somebody else in. Miles Frazier, another injury draft pick they picked up. He ain't practiced yet, but he's played all across the offensive line, throughout college. So maybe that might be a thing for them. But for the most part, we think they're probably going to bring in a veteran tackle at some point. Or they may just believe in Giovanni Manu that much. So, Giovanni Manu, Miles Frazier when he come back. I think Swarsdale, did he get injured or something like that? I can't remember. So, yeah. But for the most part, I was surprised to see Dan Skipper that early on the cut list. Maybe Ben Johnson to bring him in Chicago. Maybe Aaron Glenn to bring him in with the Jets. Who knows? So, but I was truly surprised. Drew, that one kind of threw me back, but so be it. But Hendon Hooker got cut. I heard that somebody said that Hendon Hooker felt like he played well enough to make the roster, and I'm like, what delusion are you living in? Like, you played horrible. Now, I don't think he ever got a fair shake to really play through mistakes and do things, but they couldn't even trade him. I thought they may trade him and get a late round pick or something like that. And I remember when Minnesota washed their hands with Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond had a lot of hype coming out of Minnesota, coming out of Texas A&M. I was excited to see Kellen Mond, possibly be the Vikings quarterback, but he never showed them enough in training camp. You know what I'm saying? To be that guy. He never showed them enough to be that guy. So yeah. So Hendon Hooker's pretty much the same thing, and he goes from being a backup quarterback last year to not even making the roster. But it's hard to have a young player like him. It's hard to have a young player like him. It's hard to have a young player like him, and he don't get no chance to get no reps. He don't get any chance to get any reps, and he don't get any chance to get any reps. And how is he gonna get better? So y'all don't let him rep a game. They let him get a quarter or two, and then they pull him and put Kyle Allen. It's like, Did the same thing with Suffield. When y'all just gonna be like, okay, we gonna let you play a full game unless you figure. They never let them do it. They never let them do it. So, you know, but he never got that opportunity. So it's gonna be interesting to see somebody pick him up. Maybe he end up in a practice squad. Who knows? Maybe Aaron Glenn might pick him up. Maybe Ben Johnson in Chicago, Jets might pick him up. But he did. I don't feel like he got a fair shake. You know, me personally, I don't really feel like he got a fair shake in the deal. You know, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So for him, I mean, I know for him to make the comment saying that he feel like he did enough. Maybe he was talking about in practice, but they was complaining about him in practice. And now there's going to be a question about quarterbacks coming from that Josh Heupel offense in Tennessee. Can they make way in the NFL? You know, and quarterback, like I said, it's the hardest position to play. And I said it in another video the other day. It's a hard position to play. So, you know, but ultimately, dude, but ultimately, I mean, they did what they figured they had to do with him. They feel like they gave him every opportunity. We don't, because he didn't get opportunity consistently to play in the game. So I don't really feel like, you know, he got a true fair shake. But, you know, you get a young quarterback, you know, that was another one thing about getting a young quarterback and why they go with experienced backups, because experienced backups already got experience and reps. A young quarterback need the reps, and when you the backup quarterback, it's hard to get reps with the ones. It's hard to get reps with the twos, you know, especially outside of the preseason and outside of in training camp. In the season, all the reps go to the ones. You know, his reps will come probably running practice style quarterback and stuff like that. So a little bit of a shocker for a lot of people. I think the writing was on the wall. I think they kept him a year too long, hoping that he'd figure it out. He never did, but it's hard to figure it out. When you're coming off a knee injury, you ain't played a game of football, full game of football in so long. How am I gonna get a rhythm? Y'all constantly pulling me. You know what I'm saying? So also, I think a lot of times that Josh Heupel offense, they take snaps from, you know, from the shotgun. So now going under center more probably was a little strange for him. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe button. It's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live and drop video. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.